All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to our group. This is I'm really, really excited about this. This happened yesterday, was the first round of the Mastermind. This is the second one I'm doing today. And yesterday went really well. And the reason it worked really well is because people participated. So hopefully, as I've made it fairly clear, how this is going to work is we're going to I sent out the poll as far as what topics you guys want to talk about. The poll came back with in favor. The number one topic is the topic we're talking about today, recruiting best practices, and then it's just going to keep on going down in order. There's not going to be anybody presenting necessarily, but we're going to come with questions. We're going to come with maybe struggles, and then the second half of we can talk about, here's some struggles I'm having on my team, or here's what my team's struggling with, or here's what I'm struggling with, or here's some questions I have. And then at some point, maybe halfway through our conversation, we're going to transition to what is working. This is not a gripe session. This is very much a mastermind where we discuss as well best practices. And so I want to make sure we get, here's the issues I'm dealing with so we understand what we can narrow it down. And then the second half of our call will be, here's what's working and here's how we're going to be better. So once again, everybody needs to participate. Everybody needs to chime in with thoughts and best practices or questions, whatever it may be. But before we do that, just a couple of announcements. Obviously, everybody is talking about Sean Week, which is great. Too bad for UV2, but it's Sean Week. Everybody's talking about, and 3-day refresh starts this Friday. And then make sure if your team's participating that they are doing that. And then Sean Week starts on Monday. Now, the last of that week, the 16th, is the deadline for summit registration as well as the workshops. Guys, a huge indicator of summit participation and even just showing up are people who register for the tracks. Make sure your team, if everybody on your team has registered for a track, we can go and make it's vital, it's key. Make sure that there's thousands of people who still haven't done it. Make sure your team's not one of those people who are part of that list. And is that my only other announcements? I did maybe have one other. Let me see if I can't find it. No, I'll find it later. Okay, so maybe let's quickly go around. There's people, maybe faces you don't recognize. Let's do just a quick 15-second introduction of yourself, kind of who you are, your rank, kind of where you're at, and a little bit about you. And we'll start with my left to right, top to bottom. Michelle, that is you first.
Hi, I'm Michelle Harris. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I am mom of 2, full-time coach, 3-star diamond coach.
And just like that, boom. All right. Denise Martino, please. You're good now.
But you can see me because I can't see me. I don't know what I did here with the okay. All right. So my name is Denise Martino. I live in New Jersey. I am a mom of 2 kids, ages 8 and 11. I'm married, going on 11 years. I am a 5-star diamond coach, 1-time elite. I've been a coach since December of 2010.
Perfect. Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin. I am a wife and a mom of 3 girls, 8, 5, and 3. I've been a coach since 2008 or 9, and I'm a 3-star diamond coach.
Very cool. Christina.
I'd unmute myself. I have 2 kids behind me playing. I'm Christina Battaglia. I'm from Buffalo, New York, and I've got twin 4-year-olds and a baby girl who just turned 1, so cue the waterworks. And I'm a 5-star diamond coach. Sorry, like total mom brain.
And she was elite last year. Of course, yes. Uh-oh, everybody just messed up. All right, Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan Sayani. I live in Middletown, Delaware, and I'm a mom of 1, full-time coach, 4-star in my first CBC, and Kev, I'm literally 1 coach away from 2-star in my second CBC. Like 1 coach. need
She's
one
gonna
coach.
make it happen. If
And
you
it is
guys,
the hardest damn coach I've ever had to find. So this call I need today.
perfect. And if you guys don't know Megan, she will get it done. That's just how Megan is. She gets things done.
Trying by Thursday.
Cool. All right, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Auerhahn. I am from Rochester, New York, and I have two kids. They're here with me too. My daughter's 3 and my son is 5. I've been a coach for about going on 4 years now. 5-star diamond, one-time premier, one-time elite.
Perfect. Amy.
All right. Hi, everybody. I am from Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. I am a mom of 2 teenage boys. I am married for 13 years. I'm a Jesus lover. I am a 3-star diamond coach, which fell, but I'm about to get my 3-star back really soon. And I'm looking for an accountability success partner if anybody is interested. Just throwing it out there.
Very good. I was going to actually mention that.
40-hour job, like hiding. Like on this.
I was going to mention that. This happened yesterday as well. People actually, they were looking to find a success partner. And so this is a great opportunity to get to know each other better and to see if it's a good fit. Love that. Jill.
Hey guys, my name's Jill Anzalone. I am from just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. I've been a coach since 2012. I have 3 kids. I have a 6-year-old daughter, 5-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old boy. I'm also a fitness instructor, and I am a lifetime 6-star diamond. I was elite last year, but since then I've dropped. I'm currently a 4-star diamond and hoping to get those diamonds back sometime soon.
This is a safe place to say that. Thank you. Sam.
Hey guys, I'm Samantha Hawley. Actually, Samantha Hawley Penkoff now. I don't have any kids, but I'm newly married. I've been coaching since October of 2013. I was Premier 1 year, Elite last year. The highest I ever got rank-wise, I was 9-star qualifying, but I'm 5-star lifetime and currently 1-star with a whole bunch of diamonds on one leg. So I need to even that out a little bit. What else? Oh, and I'm from Batavia, New York.
Very cool. Yes, recently married 2 weeks ago. I mean, it was.
Yeah, May 19th.
Yikes. Well, I guess that's okay. All right. Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Wilkins. Am I back?
We hear you.
Okay. I saw that my light went off, so I was like, oh no. I'm in Ohio near Cleveland, or Akron, kind of in between. I'm a mom of 2, a 3-year-old and a 4-month-old. I've been a coach since 2014, and 3-star diamond and 2017 premier.
Very cool. Joy.
Hey guys, I'm Joy Hawk. I'm coming up on my 3rd anniversary. Mom of 3. I have a 4-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old. I'm a lifetime 5-star, first-time elite, trying to get my 2nd business center to 2-star.
Okay, and Tracy, bring us home with food in your mouth.
Sorry, it's like the first time I've eaten all day. Hi guys, so I'm Tracy Baldrack. I live in Darien, Connecticut. I usually don't talk with food in my mouth, but I have 4 kids, 9, 8, 6, and 3.5. I teach Insanity. I missed what I'm supposed to say. I'm 5-star. I'm supposed to qualify for 6-star tomorrow, but it will really be a miracle if it happens. So it's in God's hands. Whatever happens, it's going to be a learning experience. So excited about this group.
Very cool. Guys, what a great introduction. So if you can't tell, we have quite a group of women here in this call. Elite, Premier, Future Premier and Elite, and top coaches. I am really excited for the conversation. And I think we have every single person in this group on this call. That is a first for me. So congratulations for being on that so far. So, okay. So let's get to the topic. I know we don't want to go too long. I know we all have lives that we need to live. But the topic today, best practices when it comes to recruiting. And that is a so when I go out to do one-on-ones. I'm headed to and coming out to Cleveland in 2 weeks, and I can guarantee you the topics that I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to be meeting with from Emerald to Coach to Diamond to 1-star, 2-star. I can guarantee you every single conversation is going to be, hey, how can I find more people like me? how can I find people who are willing to work? That's the conversation I have every single time I go out and do one-on-ones. So obviously it happens to be the same topic of conversation here today. So I want you guys to first, let's start getting out there some of the struggles you're having, some of the questions you have. We're all very similar, so there's nothing new here, but let's start getting some of the struggles that you are going through, because we are going through the same thing. So does anybody want to go first as far as what questions they have, or here's where I was, here's where I am, and I'm trying to find where the disconnect is? Who wants to dive in first here?
I'll go.
Okay.
All right. So the two like tenured coaches on my team, I've been coaching almost 3 years. So when I say tenured, it's like they've been coaching for 2 years, but we've tried everything under the sun in terms of like getting people interested in coaching, events, coaching opportunity calls, 5-day sneak peeks. So we are about ready to launch like an open sneak peek. And we're doing that on Monday, where like we are the three of us are going to be the ones doing live videos in that Facebook group. And then any of the coaches can invite people to come in, basically like sharing our story, talking about what a challenge group is, all that stuff, right? And you do videos like the first 5 days. So we've heard, because this is what other coaches have done. I've never done a sneak peek before. And you sort of just leave people in there and you can keep adding them. And at the first of the month, you do fresh videos. And so I'm really hesitant about doing it because it sounds like I'm a structure girl. Like that sounds so loosey-goosey to me. But I know like my one coach has brought it to our attention, like, hey, this is working for a couple coaches. She's found some videos on YouTube. So I'm just curious to see if anybody has done something that's sort of like an open format like this with tenured people on your team. What worked, what didn't work. If you're doing something like that now, I'm like all ears.
Megan.
I do that now.
Okay.
So I have a group. It's called, I can add you to it if you want. It's called like Dream, Believe, Achieve, Repeat. And basically, whenever we do like a glimpse group, we usually do like 1 or 2 a month. We just run it right out of that group, but we leave everyone in there. So like if you were in the group last month, but you didn't commit, when we revisit it again this month, like you're going to see the stuff again. Like you're going to get that reminder over again. And people have come back and said like a month or 2 later, like I'm ready now after seeing it like a few times. So the group just stays open. There's like, I don't know, 130 people in there or something. And my team promotes for it and adds to it. And what I do as far as the content is, instead of using like necessarily like my diamonds or my leaders, I take all my coaches who hit Success Club the month before and I give them all a topic. And they get like a mini topic, whatever it is. So my coaches that hit Success Club in May will get a topic for June, and then I let them pick it, like first come, first serve. And then at the end of the day, I go live and do like a Q&A, and I kind of talk about like the team and the resources and like income progressions, and like what you put in is what you get out. And I talk about like an hour a day, 30 minutes a day. But I have like, I can add you to the group if you want. Send me a friend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I think, and then I put it on my calendar. So I do it like once or twice a month. It kind of depends where we're at with Success Club. But if our Success Club numbers are really high mid-month, I usually do it again at the end. If they're not, I usually just do it once. So like, I think this month I have it going down. I have to check my calendar, like June 13th or something.
Okay.
But I like assigning my coaches that have hit Success Club to participate in it, because they actually have challengers from the month before to invite, for one. And that's an easier invite for them.
Okay.
And for two, it just gets them used to that, like, talking about the opportunity, because they usually don't unless they have something to invite to. Like they don't do their 2 to 5 invites a day. So I need to get them like talking about it so that they'll start to talk about it more frequently, kind of a thing.
Awesome. Thanks.
So it works. It works for my team. I myself don't really have a lot of success with them. Like I'm not walking out of these groups with like 4 coaches signed. Like I'm better off like on the phone with people or in my private messaging. Like, but I talk about the opportunity every day. I feel like my downline needs this more than I do. So I do it more for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other thoughts, guys, with this specific topic? Questions, Joy?
Well, I was just going to say we do something very similar. Although it's interesting, I don't attach it to Success Club. I tend to take my new coaches who I think have a lot of potential and shove them out of the nest and make them do it. And then I tell people like, hey guys, like I sort of pitch it as like, come meet the team. Like, this is your community and this isn't going to be perfect. That's sort of what my brand is like, we're not perfect. Like it's not about being perfect. And talk about like, you know, that these are new coaches, they're uncomfortable. I'm training them. So it kind of does two things. As one, anyone's watching, I feel like, oh, like they get to see like there is a training process and I can coach without being perfect. But it also is taking that new coach and just ripping the Band-Aid off right away, because what I found is I didn't used to do it this way. And some of my more seasoned coaches, even my diamonds, won't do this, like won't do a video about coaching or whatever, and are really heavily relying on me. So it's been really good. Like my new coaches that have signed up in January that participate, they're getting really comfortable with talking about the coaching opportunity and doing the videos and inviting, and they're having a lot of success. So.
I should add another thing that my team, I find that they do is like, since I leave the group open, they'll add people to it, even if we're not doing a glimpse, and they'll tag them and be like, go back through these videos and I'll touch base with you again tomorrow. Or like, welcome so-and-so. If you have any questions, tag anyone in this group if you see a video you like or you have questions. And my team does use it, like in between like the formal event that like we're promoting, but just having it always be open, the resource is always there, which is cool.
Yeah, we do the same thing. And I found that for my team, again, particularly for the new coaches, like they get so pumped up, like everyone's going live and talking about it in that hour. And it's like such an adrenaline rush, and it just gets them re-excited for the opportunity again, I think.
So wait, you do it just, you said in that hour. So do you have like all the videos at a specific time that you're advertising, like be here between 12 and 1?
So we've really played with it. I've tried doing it over the course of 3 days. I've tried doing it like over the course of one day where it's, you know, one video an hour. And what we find works best is packing it in. It's supposed to be an hour. It generally runs like an hour and a half. But yeah, it's like one video every 10 to 15 minutes.
I do it
an intense hour, but it works really well.
I do it throughout the course of the whole day. So I started as early as like 7 a.m. Like I have some of my really early riser moms who like work out and then do like their little thing. They either go live or do a post. And it's usually like every hour or two after that. And then I go live at like 8:30, depending on what I have. And then I do like an evening call where they can all get on and like ask questions and stuff in the live.
What I like, we tried that, which I feel like is less pressure on me and the team. But what I find works really well is condensing it into 1 hour is everybody's there. So even if you're not doing a video, like I don't want to say force, but kind of force my entire team to show up and be commenting on the posts. And I just feel like it really, the energy in the group when everyone is there live commenting and supporting each other really comes through to the people watching, if that makes sense.
That's what Lindsay does, Kev. She has them all go in an hour.
Cool.
And the other thing I do is if you are going to participate in the group, because I make sure my coaches do at least something. If they're going to take a resource, I always like them to give a little something. There needs to be like an action attached to it. Is if they're not going to be someone who's presenting on a topic, I make them share their transformation story within the group. So like if you're adding a coach, like I want you to share your story with a picture. And you don't have to necessarily talk on a topic, but you need to kind of share a little bit about who you are, because people want to see you in this group if you're going to be adding people into this group, kind of thing.
Okay. So let's continue this conversation, and let's try to drill it down now to, I don't know if you maybe with your struggles or best practices with your current recruiting status. I don't know. We've all had our highs, we've all had our lows. And when it comes to you recruiting, one of the things I talked to almost the majority of you here, is one of the things that we talk about is trying something, a new way to recruit. Or I don't know if you guys have issues with attracting, connecting, inviting, that whole process, or do the issues start now once they sign up to be a customer or coach? How can I ensure that that recruiting process is good enough that they stick around long term past the 1 to 3 mark. I know you and I, a lot of us talk about that often. Maybe let's talk about that. What have you done to, as far as success goes, that helps people stick around long term? Because it's not about the initial sale anymore. Because if obviously you all know this, but with Bob, the old thing used to be, I'll sell them a challenge pack and wait a few months, and when a new program comes out, I'll sell them another challenge pack, and that way I can kind of keep them engaged. You sell them one challenge pack now, and it's all access. And so that maybe your recruiting has to change and alter just enough so that you don't lose communication with them, because we're not coming out with anything new as far as they don't have to purchase a new program. So you have to shift a little bit. And if you stay with your old ways, you may fall off the bus a little bit. So maybe let's continue with that conversation.
Can I ask a question? My first question is, how many of you offer coaching right off the bat? Like right when okay, I usually do too, but I'm not sure. And I started doing that more with All Access. So I would love for someone to elaborate on how they do that. The other thing is, how often are you guys posting about the coaching opportunity, like with an actual call to action? Because I don't mind talking about the fitness and challenge groups, but sometimes I feel like I'm throwing the coaching opportunity in people's face too much. Like I talk about it a lot in my private messaging, but I usually only do it like once a week on social media. I jab at it, but like a hard call to action. If someone could start.
I typically, I don't do a lot of call to actions. I try to almost daily do some sort of indirect post sharing about coaching, because I realized, it's really easy for me to share my fitness journey, and I've always done that, but I was not talking about the coaching opportunity enough. But so on a daily basis, I somehow try to share, maybe it's like a benefit or a misconception, or how I'm fitting coaching into my day, or part of a transformation story, like storytelling. So I don't do a lot of call to actions either. I'm curious how many of you do an actual call to action.
Let's go Christina and then Samantha.
I just I had to break down my own barrier of doing call to actions for coaching. And so I kind of follow my own schedule where I can post, like you said, fitness and health, all day long. So I force myself the second week of every month to do a new coach sneak peek. And that brings me to, so my second week of the month, I really focus on hammering in on talking about coaching. And I do tons of jabs. I'm not like a, hey, come join me, type of person. I'll throw little jabs out there. Yesterday I posted my kids' night all superhero costumes. And I'm like, listen, if this type of life resonates with you, you probably want to be my sneak peek, jump in. And so it had nothing to do with health and fitness, but it was like, hey, if you're my type of person and you do ridiculous things like this, we should be friends. And then behind the scenes, I do my Snapchat and my Instagram stories are all coaching. It's just showing my life and how I sneak peek coaching in. So they get that reality show lifestyle of it. And it kind of takes the comfort zone off me of being nervous about posting too markety on social media.
Right. Love that. Samantha, let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, in terms of call to action posts, I don't do too many for a few reasons, but I think one reason why I've been as successful as I've gotten so far is through personal messages. So very similar to Michelle and Christina, I do a lot of jabs, but I'm always messaging them. So if they like a post that I did about anything coaching related, I'll message them and just say thanks for your support and end with a question that's are you curious to learn more about what I do as a coach, or just are you also on a health and fitness journey? Any sort of question that's kind of like an indirect invite. But kind of going back to what Kevin initially started saying, how do we get people past 1 to 3 months? That was one of my issues that I wrote down on my form. So I'm totally open to hearing you guys and your tips. But one thing that works for me is I sign lots of discount coaches. And so I do specifically a discount coach sneak peek. So typically my discount coaches, they always join my challenge groups, and about 3 weeks in, 2 to 3 weeks in, I invite them to join a sneak peek where I only talk about the differences of being a discount coach and what it would mean and what it would look like, and the cost differences, which is zero, to become an actual coach and, sharing their journey. So that gets about
I'd say a third of my discount coaches to actually start the coaching opportunity. The rest of them, it gets them to start thinking about it. But again, it is still one of my issues getting people past that 3-month mark. But that discount coach sneak peeks tends to help.
I really like that idea, Sam.
Message them all?
What was that?
Could you just message them all and be like, I'm doing this peak if you want to check it out?
Yep, I post it in my personally sponsored coach team page. This year I've been adding my discount coaches because I let them know it's a behind the scenes of what we do as a coach and extra motivation on your journey. So I'll post about it in there, and then I will individually message all of my discount coaches. I do it through voice memo and then just forward it to all of my discount coaches. So it's really easy.
And then Samantha, how is that, like, the content different in that group versus like a regular glimpse group?
So a lot of it's the same. Tracy was saying she's such a structure person, so am I. So like these sneak peeks that I do, regular ones, I have it timed out exactly what I'm going to say, when I'm going to say it, etc. But in the discount ones, I really focus on the fact that they're already doing what we do. So like they're already on a fitness journey, and I just share. So the next step is just sharing it. They're already eating healthy. The next step is just sharing it. I share the costs is one section, but they're already paying the $16 a month fee. So there's no change in cost. There's just the potential to earn an income. And I do talk about the time commitment as well, because that's always a big concern. But it tends to be more Q&A. I'll touch on all those things, and then they have a whole bunch of questions on what it means to them and how what differences it would mean and what they'd need to do.
I really like that. Anybody else have comments on this, or before we move to the next question? Erin.
I do. Okay.
And thanks for reminding me, because I completely forgot. But when I used to do glimpse groups, I used to message my discount coaches and be like, I just wanted to let you know I have, or not glimpse group, Coach Basics. I used to message my discount coaches and be like, I just want to let you know I'm opening this Coach Basics group. You're technically already a coach if you wanted to check out how to work the business. But I kind of like that, how you're like positioning it, like, do you want to work the business? So thank you for reminding me that. That's good.
Okay, Erin, go ahead.
I have a question for you guys about, I used to offer like the coaching discount like right away when it was like a challenge pack, but now that the Beachbody On Demand gets them 10% off of their Shakeology, it's basically a wash. Like they don't really save anything. And so I feel guilty offering that when I know it's not much of a savings. Does that make sense? And so I'm wondering how you still offer the coach aspect and still not feel like, if I do that, then I feel salesy. Does that make sense? I only want to do if it's a benefit to them.
It does still save them a couple dollars. I know it's not much, but I'm in the same camp. Like, there's no discount coach anymore. Not really, because they will get 10% off. And it's like, do you want to pay $120 or do you want to pay $123? Like,
right. That's
yeah. Really the difference. But I'll just ask people, I mean, honestly, like right now I'm trying to build some rank. So it's been more of like, so do you see yourself as a lifer, or do you see yourself wanting flexibility in how often you're going to drink Shakeology? There's not much of a difference, but you will save the most if you're a discount member. Would you want to be a lifer or whatever? So I will let them know, like, it's the most savings, but it's less flexible. And like, are you my lifer? And I kind of go in with that community that, hey, if you're my discount coach, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to you because you've committed 3 to 4 months to me or more, but I kind of paint that picture for them. Like, if you're a lifer, you're going to drink Shakeology at least kind of 3 months or so, and you're going to save the most on it. Do you want that option, or are you not sure? You're still feeling us out. That's okay. We'll keep you flexible, and you could always upgrade if you wanted in the future. So it's really more of the community than the savings is what I'm presenting now when it comes to the discount coach offering.
Tracy, you had a comment.
Well, I was just going to say what's really been working for me around that issue, Erin, is I've been doing these Kickstart groups. So all of my challenge groups start with a 3-day refresh. So I always bring new people on with just like the digital all access, because a lot of them are overwhelmed. They're usually moms of 3, 4, and 5 kids. So they're already overwhelmed with having to learn the meal plan. So I don't throw the 3-day refresh at someone who I can tell right off the bat's overwhelmed. But then the next month, I want them in that next challenge group. And then I'm saying to them, hey, you did awesome. You're rocking this group out. Obviously I'm talking to them about coaching. If they're still not sure, I'm like, okay, this time we're going to break our plateau and we're going to jump to the next group with the 3-day refresh. And that's another opportunity for them to get a discount. So most of them are putting the 3-day refresh on quarterly. And they're like, if we don't like it, we can just cancel the HD on the 3-day refresh. But when that goes in their minds that if they like this 3-day refresh, they're going to be getting one every 3 months, since I'm offering that as a kickstart with every challenge group, and they save that $20 or that $18 on the refresh, that right there is like a no-brainer for a lot of them. So that's been an awesome thing. And if I have like the retail people that like go dark on me when it's time and they just keep getting it retail at this like $118 price, I'm like, hey, listen, if you're going to join this challenge group, let's talk about your results. Come on for the 3-day refresh. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, you're still paying retail. Do you want to keep paying retail for the 3-day refresh since that's the product? Or would you like to, again, address the coach opportunity, whether it be just to get the discount or if you want to actually come into one of our sneak peeks?
I like that. That's marketing at its finest. Good job. Any other comments along with that? I really like that. Katie.
I'm still working on this, so I don't have it like completely laid out, but I think the performance line is kind of like this like lost thing too. So yeah, they don't get the programs on discount anymore, but pushing the performance line, I mean, not just to be salesy, but it's really awesome. Like the Energize, anyone who tries my Energize wants it, or the Hydrate or the Recover, and then they get those discounted as well.
Yep, very good. And it's our newest challenge pack, which is awesome too. Okay, other questions. We're about 6 more minutes. Other questions you guys have on recruiting, on questions, or even best practices that you would like to share?
Can you elaborate more on how you get them on the performance products? Because I always try and get, I always think from like a volume perspective, like the more people, like I love Energize, use it all the time. I love Recover, but I have a hard time getting the rest of my team to sell it. They don't even buy it for themselves half the time, but you figure if everyone on the team sold one Energize, that's a tremendous amount of volume.
For me, my whole structure is based on free groups, and I do each day the accountability piece for my 5-day free groups is they have to check in under the comment section, and then they go into a prize drawing, and then for the prize drawing they get I usually send them something small like a packet of Energize or a packet of Hydrate, and then from that pool of people I invite to my 21-day group, so just to set it up. So then they tried it. So when I highlight it or talk about it in my groups, and then when I invite them to the coach opportunity eventually, like I personally usually have them on a challenge pack and then invite them. I don't typically sign up people with a challenge pack. Go ahead. Sorry, my son has to go to the bathroom. So that's how I get people introduced to it to begin with. As far as my team goes, I don't know. Like a lot of my team is on it, whether it be like every other month for Recover, or most of my team is on Energize. I actually don't even drink Energize. I don't drink caffeine, but we get it because my husband gets it. And I know that people like live and breathe Energize. Once they've tried it, they can't get away from it.
Yeah, I'm like addicted to it.
I like Samantha's post that her comments in here. You guys, if you just use it and simply post about how much you love it, that's how people got attracted to you anyways in the first place. And so if we're not posting about it, if we're not talking about it, it's really hard to sell it. So you might as well fall in love with it yourself. And instead of pushing it on your team, just have them, try it. And if they love it, post about it, and they'll usually attract people. Michelle, you had your hand raised on the topic.
Yeah, this is something totally different. So you were asking about struggles, and you were talking about the 1 to 3, keeping people around and everything. I guess the thing that I am struggling with is people or coaches starting and trying to get involved with the business, but like giving up way too soon. Like, I've had a coach that's, hardly like been consistent and with the vitals completely, and she's already saying like, I really just think this isn't like my thing, I'm gonna back off. And I guess I struggle with the like tough love, gentle encouragement, to try to, I mean, because like I personally think I'm like very consistent, very disciplined. I have a good work ethic. Like when I set myself goals, like I go after them. But I guess I just have a lot of coaches that are not that way. And I don't know how you guys necessarily, once you do recruit them, to, you know, what kind of coaches you are recruiting and how you're starting them. I know this is like a completely different topic, but still has to do with recruiting.
Yes, it does. And I think everybody's smiling because they all have that same exact problem. Any thoughts on what has worked in the past with this, guys?
I know for me, like I go different ways because are those really the type of coaches that you want on your team? If they're not being consistent and they're not putting the work in and they're just giving up, like I know, and believe me, Michelle, like I am there, like 90% of my coaches have stopped because it gets hard. You know, it's easy those first 3 months to make Success Club. You put a post up and people come to you and then all of a sudden it stops and they don't know what to do. So part of me is like, you know, do I just let them go because they're not the type of coach that I really want on my team? But then you kind of can't let them go because, you know, you need working coaches. So I try to work more. I have a lot of threads going with like 1 or 2 coaches and myself. And I try to work with them daily, sending messages to them and trying to get them to do the vital behaviors consistently. And I think that those just daily reminders of, listen, this is what you have to be doing every single day. I'm doing it. So-and-so is doing it. Like, are you doing it? You know, so putting that one person who might not be, who's trying to give up, put them with yourself and with another strong coach and kind of show them like what you and the other strong coach are doing so that they know, okay, this is what those 2 are doing and they're finding success. So maybe if I just give it a try, they'll find success. But I find like message threads with 1 or 2 coaches works really, really well, but it's tough.
I love the idea that you said, like a lot of times I put message threads together with coaches that are maybe like comparable, but I love the idea of putting like a coach that's like seeing a lot of success and one that's struggling. And because I feel like sometimes they hear it from me all the time, but if they hear it from another coach that's succeeding, I like that a lot. So thanks.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I think, and I struggle with this too, I think it's hard for them to envision themselves getting to where you are. Like they think you worked like so much harder for it, but really it's just the daily action. You just do it every day. I forget where I learned this tidbit, but they said like you should always be you yourself, even us. Like we should always be working and like engage with someone who is just one level higher, like that one level up, and like striving to that one level up. So like they should be working with someone one level up. We should be working with someone one level up. So like if you pair them with someone who's like a level up, then I think you probably want to think about your organization, how you compare that person with someone who's a level up, or help them find some resources that'll like level them up, as opposed to just having your leaders like work down. Then they're going to need to work up too a little, you know?
I found, well, like always one-on-one is the best because everyone's a little bit different. But I guess the theme I've noticed lately is just they don't have enough people watching them, and they're going to the people that they already know, or they're going to the same people and having more conversations and building the same relationship. And then they're getting upset that it's always no. And I'm like, then you need new eyes. Then it's not enough people. And I think that's something I take for granted, that when I signed up, like I knew I didn't have enough Facebook friends. I didn't use social media. Social media wasn't really a big deal for me. So I immediately was adding people all the time to my network. And I think that we've lost the focus on that, or at least I think that's where my people maybe aren't putting enough efforts into finding new followers. You know, Facebook is a little more rigid now. People aren't adding people they don't know because they're used to being sold on Facebook and they don't want to. So you have to move over to Instagram, and you have to think of how do normal people think on Instagram. And now they're coaches. So they're looking up #fitness and they're like, oh, I'm finding all coaches. I'm like, then don't use #fitness. So I think it's that having those eyes, is really like where they're struggling, is that their like warm markets are a little burnt out and they need to go to a cold market right away and warm them up. And so for my people, that's really where I've been helping them focus, is like more people. Then just go make friends with more people, get more followers on your page, because you're gonna keep getting no if you don't have the right people in front of you yet. And you might have a lot of people in front of you and they're still the wrong people that don't want fitness because they're where you are or were in the past and they're not ready yet. So that's been what's helping my girls, is just helping them build their social media eyes, and kind of, that tough love talk of like, well, is that finding that linchpin? What is it? Is it that you don't have enough people and you're having great conversations, but it's just they're not ready? Or is it, your conversation isn't even getting to the right place because you're not clear enough on what it is you didn't really ever ask them, or you threw a link at them, or you told them too much about yourself. So that personal one-on-one, but mainly the audience. I feel like that's what our team's been focusing on this year, is just getting more people watching you.
I love that. Tracy, let's have you wrap us up, and then I'll give my final thoughts.
Sure. I was just going to say what's working for us is we use Voxer. It's this app that's sort of like a walkie-talkie, and you can make these group chats. So what we do is when we have a pod of coaches from the entire downline that finish a training, like within 2 weeks of each other, we throw them into a pod. So there's usually not more than like 6 coaches, but they're all brand new coaches. And so you always have the one that rises to the top, that ends up being that bar setter for the group. And then what it does for the rest of us is it shows us like who's willing to like sort of step up with this group. So like the one that we have right now, there's 5 girls in it. And all of a sudden last night I had my Rising Star call, and we started noticing that these brand new coaches are using all these brand new hashtags on Instagram. Well, they did that because the leader out of all the new training graduates was like, hey, let's come up with our own hashtags. 3 days, let's come back to this box chain. And they all sort of push each other, and it's these brand new coaches that are pushing each other instead of like the coaches that maybe are the personally sponsored or the Star Diamond coaches on the team. They're working with other rising stars, right? Because I want that level pushing them so that they keep rising in rank. And for me, what those groups show is if I have a coach that's a dud in like one of the new box chains and she's not participating, that's showing me right there that I got to dig in. But most of the time it turns out that those are not the coaches that I'm going to spend the most time with onboarding. When I see my rising stars come out of these like little box chains and I can see things happening and action taking place, then it sort of helps me. If you guys I'm a big fan of the book Top Grading, it helps me kind of know, okay, out of these 5 new coaches, these are the 2 I'm going to spend my time with, and these are the 3 that I'm going to give some like takeaways to. Hey, go try this, and then let's meet. And most of the time they don't do it. So it's just a good little barometer.
I love that. Well, you put that in the chat so that people can refer to that. I'm sure they'll ask. Okay, we're out of time. Let me just quickly wrap up. Guys, phenomenal conversation. This is exactly what needs to be happening every single time we do a call, because this is where we just kind of put it out there. This is a safe zone where we talk about, here's where I'm struggling, and say, oh, I've actually tried this, try this, or do this new thing. And hopefully we leave now with ideas. I need to give you an assignment really quick. The assignment goes along with what Megan was talking about, how we always need to be working with somebody one up above us. And so what I want you to do is we all have somebody we admire, somebody we as far as a coach goes, somebody who's seen a lot of success, somebody who we're like, man, I wish I could be more like this person. I want you to go study their page. I want you to study their videos. I want you to pay attention to why they caught your attention. They're doing something and it's on purpose. And it's working because it's grabbing your attention. If you don't have a coaching name, let me give you one. I didn't ask for her permission, but that's okay. Her name is Ashley Lachlan. A-S-H, Ash, L-Y, there's no E. Ashley, L-Y, Lachlan, L-O-C-K-L-I-N. She has, in my opinion, she's like I think she just turned 3-star last week. And she's like number 19 in the company right now, flipping, rocking it right now. And so I went to her page. I'm like, she's doing something to get eyes on her page. And I'm convinced her videos, it is the smallest things that she does. It's having proper lighting. It's having a camera that actually focuses on you instead of some random, the cat in the background or something. And she smiles during her videos, and her workouts, they're not real time, they're sped up. I mean, it's the smallest little things that I think really draw people to her. And so pay attention to those things and see what you can do to better get eyes. And I talked to her and she says, you know what, Kevin, I haven't gone out, and people keep coming to me. I haven't had to really go out and find people. So she's doing something right. And so whoever it may be for you, go after that person. Now, back to recruiting. I just have a few thoughts. a lot of times, I think I've talked about this with most of you. A lot of times we keep saying, I want business builders. I want people who grasp the concept. I want somebody who's going to run. Okay. Who doesn't? But think about your journey. Think about how you got started. Think about your attitude towards coaching when you first got started versus your attitude towards coaching today. There's been a process. There's been an awakening moment. There's this, okay, my eyes are open more. I can now make a better decision. That's just how it goes. People need time. They need experience. They need situations. They need action plans so that they can see that this is something they want to do. That is your job. Your job isn't to tell them to do it. It's to give them opportunities to see that they can do it. And as they see themselves being able to want to do that, then you get coaches who are going to want to stay past you that 1 to 3 mark. But just simply tell them, here's what you need to do. Go do it. And then when they don't do it, you say, you suck. Well, then of course they're not going to stick around. A shameless plug, the What It Takes videos. Some of you are featured and will be featured on those. Go watch them, because if you're unfamiliar with what it is, I've interviewed the elite coaches. I ask them all the exact same questions, and with the hopes that a theme comes out as to what it takes to become successful or what it takes to be an elite coach. 99% of the coaches I interviewed all said, when I asked the question, tell me how you got introduced to Beachbody, they all say, boy, I said no 100 times. I did not want to do coaching. I just did it for the discount, whatever it may be. And yet we find these people today who are in that situation we were, and we look at them going, gosh, dang it, why don't you want to work the business? And look where you are today. Don't give up on these people. These people, you just work with them. You continue to give them experiences, give them challenges. And then throughout time, they, over a certain period of time, they'll see the opportunity and they'll want to do it. That is your job. And then the last thing I have to say is simply this. And we alluded to it. Well, I can't remember who said it. But the scariest position you can be in is unreachable. Meaning you're setting the bar so high personally, and the expectations that people are supposed to equal that's a scary point to be in, because people look at you going, I'm here. I can't do what she does. That's too hard. The gap is too wide. I've talked about this with everybody. The gap principle. If the gap between you and them, the assumed gap between you and them is too far, they're frozen. They're not going to move. They're not going to do anything. The narrower that we can make that gap, the better they'll make that decision to say, yeah, I can see myself doing that. And so that's our job. Narrow the gap. And as you do that, they will see and want to step out of the open. I'm not saying lowering your standards. I'm saying maintain who you are and what you do. Keep your SC numbers high. That's fine. But don't say, yeah, you know what? You need to hit SC5 every single month when they're 3 days old and they're going, I don't even know how to talk to you. I'm not going to post my pictures on Facebook. Okay, then let's start where you're at. And then let's start making small incremental challenges that get you so that at one point you can say, yeah, I can hit SC5 every single month. Okay, Jerry Springer moment, a moment over. Sorry, soapbox. Thank you so much for jumping on this call. Great conversation. Please keep it going on our little Facebook group page. If you want to keep asking questions or thoughts or postings that you found, please do so. Let's keep this group active. We'll talk again in 2 weeks with a new topic. Thanks, everybody.